I want to take this time to share the benefit of using Phocas Financial Statements in either your Vision or Vantagepoint environment. So with Phocas, we'll pull in all of your GL data at the transaction level. And what we can do is we can create some different statements. So in the top left here, you'll see we can set up some different profit and loss statements, balance sheet, cash flow, trial balance. And we can also make these completely customizable. So you can create multiple different P&Ls, for instance. If you want to make a P&L for the executive team, maybe you want to make one just for one specific branch manager, you name it, we can create multiple of these, and again, completely customizable. So here's an example that we're looking at for this TL sample profit and loss. So for instance, if I drop this revenue down, we can see all those different GL accounts underneath that revenue grouping. If we're looking at some of our operating expenses, we can see all the different GL accounts associated with that. So let's take a look at revenue, for instance. Actually, let's go and see operating expenses. So again, here we can see our current profit and loss, our current actuals for those accounts. We can see our previous, for depending on what time range we're looking at. We can see a budget, and we can also set up a forecast in here as well. What's nice, again, we're pulling in that transactional level data, so we can drill down into that really easily. So for instance, let's say we want to look at our pension and profit sharing, for instance, and see why it's reading that 12,000 number. We can just easily right click here and go into transactions. And then just with a couple clicks, it's going to drill down into that underlying transactional level data. Perfect. And now we can see where that 12,000 number comes from. Let's go back to our financial statements. With this too, again, we can make it really easy to drill down into that transactional level data. We can also filter by all of these different dimensions. What we can also do is we can also create some different groupings here. So maybe I want to group my P&L by our different offices. So I'm just going to pull an office to this column groups here. I'm going to drop this down. Maybe I just want to look at Portland, New York, Chicago, Toronto, and Vancouver. Click OK. And then we can see those really easily broken up by those different offices. So again, we can see Portland broke about current, previous, budget, and forecast, as well as our different offices here. If I want to clean this up, so let's say I want to remove my forecast and I want to remove my previous column. So now you can see we have those same offices, but we just have with current and our budget. We can also create some different charts. So in this example, I want to create a bullet chart. So I'm going to click charts, go to bullet, and we can see all those different offices broken up by our individual, by the actuals compared to that budget. What's nice with Phocas is we can easily just share this report out with some different users. We can also set up some subscriptions. So if I want to send this on a regular cadence, whether it's daily, weekly, monthly, etc., you can set this up. So what a lot of our customers are doing is they'll set these P&Ls up once, and then at the end of the month, it just sends out automatically. And again, this data will actually update on a nightly basis. So these numbers will always reflect what's actually going on in your business. Now, this is a fun part of being able to drill down into that underlying data, but what we can also do is create some dashboards that we want. So here's an example of a financial statements dashboard. So we have some high-level KPI numbers. We can see a profit and loss statement that's pulled into here. We can see some different trends, some different charts here. We can see some ratios, cash flow, current month cash, you name it, balance sheet, and we can all pull this into one specific dashboard for you to analyze. Again, what's nice with Phocas is we can create this one specific dashboard for maybe, let's say, whether it's our executive team or if it's something that a lot of our business can see, and we can actually restrict the data down as far as we would like. So we can create one dashboard, share it out with a bunch of people, and then based on their restrictions, they'll just be able to see the data that they are privileged to. What's really nice, especially if you're on Vantagepoint, is we can actually take this same exact dashboard and embed it into Vantagepoint. And it works really seamlessly as well. So you can see here we're in our Vantagepoint environment, and we have that same exact dashboard for us to filter in here. So for a lot of users, what we're seeing is they we have some users who are actually going to be the ones creating this data, maybe drilling down into a little bit more, but we have some users who are just going to live within Vantagepoint. And so maybe they just want to see a dashboard that we can embed here. Again, you can always have the data here. And then if you want it to, let's say, I want to drill down into this summary financial year to date, I can click on this analyze button and that'll pull me out of Vantagepoint and into Phocas, and for us to drill down and play around in that profit and loss statement. Just an example, we could, even this window, we could embed that into Vantagepoint too if you wanted as well. But just want to show an example for that. Let us know if there's any questions.